Listen, I think that we are under another psychological operation and we need to talk about it. So welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie AB. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. It truly means a lot, especially in Commie Canada. So let's get into today's video. So the newest psychological operation that I am witnessing is the attack on Danielle Smith. Now, here's how you can tell that this is some sort of concerted effort, okay? Because why does nobody care about Quebec? Why are they all up in arms when Alberta, why is Ottawa all up in arms when Alberta talks about separating, but not Quebec? In fact, they bend over and give Quebec whatever it is that they want. So I'm just wondering, what's the difference here? Well, I could tell you a little bit of a difference. There are probably people being paid to, and not probably, I can see it with my own damn eyes. The mainstream media is against Danielle Smith, obviously. And not only that, there are content creators. Content creators, the very few minimal that I respect, I think have been paid to say this about Danielle Smith, because why, if a teacher, a principal in Ontario, what do you have to worry about when it comes to Danielle Smith in Alberta? Really? I think we have enough problems in Ontario when it comes to Doug Ford that we don't really need to pay attention to what's happening to Danielle Smith. And normally they don't at all, actually, unless it's some sort of horrible thing. Oh, the newest one is that she imposed election interference. Besides the fact that Trump got on cameras with Mark Carney and said, I'm the reason that you won this, okay? Despite the fact that we know that the mainstream media is literally bought and paid for by the state, honey, you are on the wrong side of history, okay? Not only that, these influencers were in an NDP federal group, okay? Who's to say that those federal NDP group members didn't go to a liberal federal NDP group to fight mis and disinformation? I am not kidding you, Frank, that in one of my election coverage videos, I have a video of one of the lefties outing the fact that a bunch of left-leaning creators on TikTok are in a private group chat with the federal NDP. And then the federal NDP threw them under the bus. And then what? You guys jump ship to the Liberals? I don't know. I actually don't know because no one said it. But something tells me that the amount of people attacking Danielle Smith right now is on purpose. And why is that? Because Ottawa actually knows the value of gas and oil, and they cannot afford to lose Alberta and how much Alberta literally subsidizes Canada, okay? While at the same time being punished and demonized for doing so. Isn't it great? Do you guys remember when Justin Trudeau was doing his acceptance speech as Prime Minister and he forgot to name Alberta? Because I do. I remember that. How come nobody's attacking Blanchette? Why? When Blanchette gets up there and says, Canada's not a real country, I don't consider myself Canadian, I'm Quebec, we have our own identity, blah, 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 blah. Why is that okay? Why is there not a concerted effort to go against Quebec? Well, that's not part of the narrative, and Quebec bends over to the Green Initiative, okay? So if you're wondering why they're okay with Quebec leaving or talking about leaving or having representation, can you imagine if you guys had like an Alberta group in the federal government, the amount of heads that would explode? So let me just say, I continue to pray for Danielle Smith as I seen in the news this morning that her family was attacked. The media should be held responsible at some point for the things that they do. In regards to spreading the fact that Elon Musk did a Yahtzee salute and and then eventually it led to Tesla's burning. So I'm just going to say at some point the media is going to be held accountable for these harmful narratives that they perpetuate, but that's only if Canadians can break away from the mainstream news and think for themselves, which I don't know. After 10 years of the Liberals absolutely annihilating our country, they seem to blame only conservative premiers. That's it. That's it. And by the way, I just had a coughing fit. By the way, while we're at it, I think that Northern Ontario should be separate from Southern Ontario. And Doug is actually trying to make Muskoka area considered Northern Ontario, which, by the way, on a map, very much is not Northern Ontario, so that all of our funding can go to them. And I'm not kidding, because that's where all the rich people live. So isn't that great? Isn't that great? Northern Ontario is literally abandoned. We need to be our own province. Despite it being probably more left-leaning of a province, we desperately need to be separated from Southern Ontario. Doug does not care about us. Nobody cares about us, actually, despite us being worth millions of dollars. Now, here's where I'm going to get into the Alberta situation, okay? Because when I tell you guys over 100 times already, I did not think Pierre would lose. And I didn't think I'd have to think about moving to Alberta. I meant that, okay? Just strictly, my husband goes, I've never met a Liberal. I've never met a Liberal in my life. I'm like, yeah, because you work for a living. And you don't work for the government for a living. So when my husband and I talk about this, just like we did moving to Northern Ontario, there are a significant amount of things to think about. And, you know, I'm going to sound kind of funny when I say these next things, because these are real things that I think about, but the majority of people might not actually think about, okay? So what if Mark Carney wants to go net zero? Okay, what if Mark Carney wants to do that? We have to think about the tariffs on so many different things in Northern Ontario. So is there going to be a tariff on lumber? If there is, that could lead to job loss. And if Alberta decides to separate and protect, or even protect its oil sector, we know that jobs will always be in Alberta. Okay, the biggest problem right now is that Northern and Southern Ontario are about to be absolutely annihilated by the loss of the auto industry and the rest of the tariffs on steel. And I don't know if it's going on lumber or not. I really friggin' hope not. But even these homes that they want to make, there's not going to be the need of the kind of things that logging leads to. So like ODP. I always say ODSP, it's not ODSP, but you know what I mean? Like the board, and then actual actual wood, etc., etc. So these are all things that we have to think about, because here's the thing, you guys, when my husband's parents live in Southern Ontario, and they visit all the time. My family, not so much, but whatever. And that's okay, because my grandparents are a little too old to come and visit, but I visit them as much as I can. But still, like, if they ever needed me, I'm just a phone call away and a 7-hour drive away versus a plane ride away. And that is probably the biggest thing holding us back, is the fact that if we can't get his parents to move with us, which love you guys, they haven't been up in a while, so we haven't been able to talk about these things, but I know that they subscribe to my channel, so hey. But the biggest thing is leaving family, because to us it would be worth it, especially if the West separated. We do not want to live in Canada anymore. Like, we do, but we don't, because obviously the States is a different ballgame when you're immigrating to America that way. I assume there would be a little bit more leeway for Canadians who are coming to work and if the West ever separated, you know what I mean? But then you think about, okay, but if they're going to take away gas-powered vehicles, we won't even be able to go see our family without it taking 12 hours to charge the vehicle every 4. You know what I mean? And I know that's not stuff that people really think about. I'm not sure the average person, when they are thinking about moving, is our gas-powered vehicles going to be banned and then we won't even be able to see our family? So what's the point? Maybe we should just go to Alberta. So what? You know what I mean? And obviously people would think about missing their family. That is obviously a massive deal as to why people don't just up and leave any area. And by the way, the media does all of this nonsense because it's easy to target Danielle Smith when Danielle Smith has vocally said that she wants Canada to remain, or Alberta to remain part of Canada. But if the people of Alberta want different, she will have to listen to that. Danielle Smith is the only person that seems to listen to democracy. In this sense, at least. And by the way, at what point does any company not just drop out of Canada? Because not only do we have tariffs going on our stuff, that's like, we have a lot of American-owned companies in Canada, by the way. So not only is there tariffs going on, but you have like a massive carbon tax, business tax. Why would anybody want to open up here? I'm sick of it. I want to go to the province where they're capping the carbon tax. Honestly, you guys, the biggest reason why we are hesitant to go is being close-ish to family. But the moment that I find out that they want to put through that ban of those vehicles, like, I'm out of here. Like, we're done. We're gone. The family, you guys will have to follow, because what are you going to stay here? I said that to Tyler. I was like, what, are they going to stay here and enjoy their electric vehicles in their tiny towns and not be able to visit anybody or go camping or go on a plane ride or do anything else because they probably didn't have enough carbon credits to go anywhere? Like, we're not going anywhere anyways, so they might as well come with us, okay? Because whatever. But if that actually ends up going through, but that's the thing, we can never know with Mark Carney because he's not being honest. He's not actually, like, he says something and then his cabinet said entirely different things yesterday. Moving to Alberta is obviously a massive big deal, and you know, even like my husband it would be better financially even by a few $1,000s would be helpful. And it is, because of the lack of gas that you guys pay. Like, you guys obviously pay for gas, but it's a lot less. And then the no sales tax. So if my husband worked at the same job over there, it would be approximately the same pay. We would still be getting more back in our pocket, obviously, because I don't know why the left doesn't think that taxes add cost to things, but that is absolutely what they think. And Frank Dominic tried to argue that the other day. It's also a very big worry of mine to be thrown in jail, and my husband doesn't really take that seriously. But despite the amount of articles that I have showed him for people being thrown in jail, he's like, then all of my coworkers are going to be thrown in jail. Yes, and then all of the predators will be on the streets because that's what happens. Sorry. And, you know, I can't imagine. I can't imagine being part of the thought police, like the left-leaning people online, and think that I'm on the right side of history. Couldn't be me. But I need to know from you guys, okay? First of all, if you know any communities that have a lot of industry around them, and they are, like, here's the thing. We like communities that are like 1,000 people where there's like maybe a mini grocery store, pharmacy, and then traveling to get groceries to like a town of 10 to 20 to 40,000. So if you guys know any communities like that in Alberta, let me know. And let me tell you guys something. Every single time Tyler has my husband has brought this up to his coworkers, all of them tell him not to do it, which is very hard for me. Okay, because they're all on the same page as me almost, but I almost don't think they know about the net zero and stuff and what that will entail, because yeah, that's why I want to move to Alberta, is because if Danielle Smith is going to protect us from this net zero agenda, even if it means the provincial government does it without separating, or it means separating, I don't care, okay? That's what I want. We need protection from the federal government overcharging us all of these things in the name of net zero. So anyways, guys, what do you think? Do you think it would be smart to stay in Northern Ontario, which, by the way, we have like one of the most freshest bodies, like huge bodies of water in the world. Like, we have the most fresh water bodies in the world. One of the reasons why we moved up here. So I don't understand why people are saying, it's the same in every province. It's truly not the same, though. It's not the same. And Saskatchewan and Alberta have way more protections and way more job opportunities. Well, maybe not Saskatchewan, but Alberta definitely does. And as a family that is reflecting on the conversations my parents had, and I remember growing up about going through things like this, we need to go where the jobs are. We need to be able to feed our family. Like, we can't rely on the government. We don't want them coming back and saying we owe them money years later, okay? Because that's what they do. And they'll make it up even if you don't. So anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. I want to do a more intricate, detailed video about the pros and cons of Northern Ontario and Alberta, because to me, they kind of seem similar in regards to the culture and stuff like that, although we are very, very, very left-leaning here, but I digress. It's kind of another reason I want to go, but whatever. Literally at a Yahtzee. My person was Anthony Rhoda, and we had a Yahtzee in the House of Commons, and still, I'm sorry, was he being extradited? What's going on there? No? Oh, okay. But anyways, guys, you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Give me some more pros and cons. I gotta weigh them out. We gotta suss out this situation, okay? Because when I tell you I was about to buy my dream homestead and be done buying a house and have a house paid off, I'm not kidding. This is a massive decision. I need to know all there is to know about Alberta and possibly Saskatchewan. But my husband said when he drove through Saskatchewan, it was literally just a flat field. So I need trees. Okay. All right. Anyways, guys, you have a good one. And I will do a garden tour when I'm done, because I'll probably do a short of it. I'm so excited. I've been working my patootie off in the garden, because this is growing a garden for necessity season. I love that for us. So anyways, guys, you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.